Hello, Neva, and I apologize if that's not how you pronounce your name. I just wanted to go over this relative motion formative assessment problem with you, because getting the directions correct, it's a little bit tricky until you kind of understand how it all works. You figured out the magnitude of the direction correctly. It's just which, is it south of east, is it south of west, or those kind of specifications are a little bit hard to understand. But let's go through the problem and just take a look at what we're dealing with here. So in this case, we have V air. And we're told that value is 64 kilometers an hour. So that is the plane's speed in still air. We have a wind blowing from the west towards the east, and that's V wind, and that value we're told is 30 kilometers an hour. And the resultant velocity is V ground, and that's what we're asked to find. And that's what we're trying to figure out. What we're trying to figure out is this angle right here. You correctly determined that the magnitude of V ground through your calculations and using Pythagoras is around 70.7 kilometers an hour, or with correct sig digs, it's 71 kilometers an hour. But we have to figure out what this theta value is. So in this case, we're going to use the easiest one to use. And what I prefer to do is use tangent, because these values right here, V wind and V air, they're given to us in the problem. So we're not having to rely on a calculated value to figure out what the direction is. You could use the V ground value, but I prefer to always use the ones that's in the problem. So we know that tan theta is, remembering our acronym here, SOHCAHTOA, opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is V wind, and the adjacent is V air. And if we figure it out, theta, it's tan. V wind is 30 kilometers an hour, and this is 64 kilometers an hour. We get that value, and what we figure it out to be is 25 degrees. So what this value is and how we would write this is 25 degrees. That's that value of theta. That is east. It's east of the south direction. Okay, so if I was to write this one down, it would be 25 degrees east of south. Okay, that's basically measuring the angle in that direction. From the south direction, we're moving over to the east 25 degrees. Now, the other way that we could measure the angle is like this. If we've got this, and I'm just going to redraw this picture, if we have our x-axis up here, or our coordinate plane, we could measure down in that direction, and maybe we'll call that phi. That's just another way of writing an angle. So that we could write the angle there, and if we know that this is roughly 25 degrees, this has to add up to 90, so that makes this 65 degrees. And if I want to use 65 degrees, I would have to write 65 degrees south of east, because I've taken the east direction and I've went down towards the south direction. So that's how you specify that. It's 65 degrees south of east, or 25 degrees east of south. So I hope that helps you out. The directions, it's a little bit complicated, and some other physics teachers might do it a little bit differently, but that's the way I like to do it. I think it makes sense, but if you have any questions, please contact me in private discussions and we can go over that with you.